So I started investing at a pretty young age. I was lucky enough to have people around me who knew about, money, but more specifically about investing, just how to invest, what to invest in. So I was lucky enough to have this, and I took advantage of it. And I started investing during my teens, um, 16 to be exact. So I've been doing this for about a decade at this point, and I feel like I have a decent amount of knowledge when it comes to investing for someone in their mid 20s. And I love to just, first of all, I love talking about this kind of stuff. It's what I'm passionate about. But number two, I like sharing this stuff because the thought of me or my opinion or my experience helping someone else with their money, that's just a really cool thing for me. I just think that's awesome. So that's why I like making these kinds of videos. And I want to, use myself as an example and kind of talk about my investing plan for the next 10 years, right? Because a lot of people preach how important having a long-term mindset is in investing, and I agree with that 100%. Like when you're investing, you should be thinking decades, not years, and definitely not months or weeks. Like you should be thinking decades when it comes to investing. So without further ado, let's get right into this. So just for a little bit of context, I am in my mid 20s. As I mentioned, I started investing when I was 16. So I've been doing this about a decade or so. I got really aggressive with investing when COVID hit. I was investing a little bit, during my teens, just because, you're in your teens, you're not making a ton of money. I did work some jobs throughout high school and all that kind of stuff. And even before then, I had a newspaper route when I was, I don't know, maybe like 12 years old or something like that. But I just didn't have a lot of disposable income when I was in my teens and in high school because I wasn't really working as much. I played sports and all that kind of stuff. So that was that. But once COVID hit and I saw that opportunity, I saw the market really drop. That's when I got really aggressive with investing my Roth IRA as well as a brokerage account. I got into crypto back in 2021. And I still aggressively invest in all three of these. Aside from crypto, I haven't really been contributing too much money into crypto recently, just because I'm kind of comfortable with the amount of money that I've initially invested into crypto. So I'm kind of just sitting tight on that. I've made a video about that as well, so feel free to go check that out. But yeah, so like I said, been aggressively investing in crypto since, or excuse me, in stocks as well as crypto since like 2020, and at this point, I have a decent amount of money in the market. We're talking about a good chunk of money. I don't know if it's necessarily six figures, but it's a good chunk of money. So again, I have a little bit of experience with this, and I kind of want to talk to you guys about what my plan is moving forward. So for now, just based on what I can afford to invest, I've been throwing about $1,000 per month into investments, just because I got some other stuff kind of going on, some other stuff I'm saving for, and just life expenses and all that kind of stuff. So right now, that's what I'm doing. I've got about $1,000 or so going into the market. Now, I'm not content with this. I made another video recently about how I'm saving and investing much less than I was about a year ago. So you can also go check that out as well. Um, but I mean, the fact of the matter is, I need to increase my income. I need more disposable income because I really can't cut my expenses back any further. My budget is good. I'm pretty much sticking to it, and I don't spend that much money on my necessities, as far as like rent and utilities, insurance, food, all that kind of stuff. So really, the only option is to make more money, and I am working on that. I'm working on a couple different, hopefully sources of income, but also I'm always keeping my eye open for ways to make more money within, my current company or possibly another opportunity with another company. Um, so most of the time, I feel like people have spending problems, and that's why they're not able to invest and save enough. But I have the opposite problem right now, and I mean, I'll admit it. I'm just not making as much money as I need to be in order to invest at a level that I want to. So that's what I need to work on. I need to make more money. Um, and another sort of aspect to this, and I've mentioned this numerous times on my channel, is about or earlier on, I guess I should say this year, I had moved out of my parents' place and now I'm taking care of all my expenses. Like when I was with them, I wasn't paying rent or for food or anything like that. So now that I am, you know, not as much money is available every month to save and invest. So again, I need to increase my income. But for now, again, I'm investing about $1,000 per month or so. So what am I doing with this $1,000? First and foremost, I'm targeting my Roth IRA. The Roth IRA is in my opinion, probably the best financial tool that someone in their 20s specifically, but even in their 30s and 40s, if they qualify to invest in it, it's one of the best tools the world of investing has to offer, in my opinion, just because the amount of money you save in a Roth IRA when it comes to taxes is just astronomical. So if you take advantage of this account and you make the most of it and you know how to use it, it's an incredible thing. It really is. So I make sure I max out my Roth IRA every year. That's really important to me. And then outside of that, then I am targeting my brokerage account. So any extra money that I can save and invest goes into my brokerage account. Mainly investing in some simple ETFs like VOO and SCHD. I also am a big fan of Tesla, so I do every once in a while throw some money into Tesla as well. Tesla's been doing great as of recently, so that's good. I'm seeing some handsome returns on that. And I'd also like to mention, I forgot to mention this earlier, that I do have a pretty hefty savings account. I have sort of a strange risk tolerance. When it comes to like savings, I like to have a very beefy savings in case something, bad happens, or I lose my job, or I have a major repair, knock on wood, on my car that I need to take care of. So I like to have a really hefty savings, which I do. I have, I don't know, probably anywhere from like 2 to 3 years worth of expenses and savings. And again, this is probably overboard. If you ask 100 people, probably 99 of them would say that that's way too much money to have in savings. You could be getting a better return elsewhere. But I'm that one person out of the 100 that says I don't care. It's the peace of mind that gives me that outweighs any sort of return that I would be getting elsewhere. So that's just me personally. That's how I feel about money. I like having that beefy savings. So I have that and I keep it set aside in case I need anything at all. But then on the other hand, like when it comes to my investments, while I do have a good majority of my money in like VOO and other basic, what I would like to call safe ETFs, I do invest in some riskier assets. For example, Tesla is rather volatile. But I'm able to stomach that volatility because I have money in savings and money invested in just the overall market. But even the way I invest in crypto, like I have a decent, I've invested a decent amount of money in crypto as well. And the volatility there is just, you got to be able to stomach that. And if you can't, then don't even bother getting into it because you're just going to sell out within the first, dip and you'll end up losing money. But I can stomach that volatility because I have savings and money invested in more safer assets. So that's just me. But so that's sort of what I'm doing right now. Now, what are my goals? Why am I doing all this? Well, the main goal is to get to a point where my investments can sustain a very modest lifestyle of basic needs. Like that is my goal. Then I feel like I'm set, quote unquote. So if I have enough money invested and saved that I could live off of passive income to take care of my rent, food, utilities, insurance, my basic needs, that is the goal. Then I'm at a point of like, okay, I'm okay. I don't have to worry about money anymore. And then anything on top of that is just sort of icing on the cake. But that is my goal, is to just get to a point where my investments take care of my lifestyle. Again, a very modest lifestyle, just taking care of my basic needs. Because I wouldn't stop working when I got to this point. But knowing like that peace of mind I was talking about before with the savings account, having a portfolio that pays me enough to just live a modest lifestyle, that's the goal. That's what I'm working towards. And I feel like this is attainable. I'm hoping within the next decade or two, I can get to that point. It is possible. I definitely would need to be very aggressive with the investing, as well as increase my income. I mean, just what I'm doing right now isn't going to cut it. But if I can increase my income and really invest aggressively while, sort of living a modest lifestyle, and and hopefully get some nice returns on my investments, especially like Tesla and crypto, like that would definitely help out a lot. It's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. Um, I just don't, I, the idea of working 40 years and 9 to 5 just to retire and then start enjoying life, like I don't like the idea of that. And I think a lot of people can relate, but I think a lot of people aren't willing to actually put in the work to do something about it. And I'm trying to. Like, that's what I want to do. That's what keeps me motivated, is I'm trying to escape that lifestyle. So yeah, that's sort of my plan for the next 10 years, and even a little bit further beyond that. I'm, kind of tapped into my plan for the next 20 years or so. But yeah, I appreciate you guys checking in with me. If you're new here, I post every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. I talk about personal finance, investing, even just life experiences. Anything I really feel like talking about, I'll throw it over some gameplay for you guys. So let me know what you guys think as far as your investing plan. What are you doing right now? What do you think you can improve on? Where do you hope to be in 10 years? Definitely drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Appreciate you. Peace.